One of the questions that people ask me a lot is, how did you tell your kids? How do you tell your kids you got cancer? And of course it's different for everybody. I can't pretend to give anybody the absolute perfect advice on this, but what I can do is share my story on what happened with me. So I had a 5, 7 and 9-year-old at the time. And I decided after getting my diagnosis that I am just going to wait for a few days because I was feeling very emotional, my husband was very emotional, and I wanted to be able to tell them without crying, because I just thought, if I start crying, they're going to get worried. So waited a few days, and I told my youngest first, and I said, look, I've got a little lump on my boob, and do you want to have a look at it? And so she had a look at it and she had a little feel, and I said, it's a bit like a verruca. You know, sometimes you get a verruca on your foot. I don't know why my kids keep getting verrucas on their feet, but they do. Maybe it's a scuzzy swimming pool, I don't know, but don't judge me. So I said, look, I've got a lump. It's like a verruca, and the doctor needs to take it away, and then I'm going to have some special medicine. So I might be feeling really, really tired for a bit. But that's kind of what's happening. And she was she was only 5, so she was like, oh, can I have a feel? And she was like, can I go and watch Paw Patrol? I was like, yeah, you can watch Paw Patrol, that's fine. So she wasn't too bad. My middle daughter, she was 7, and she took the news quite well. I did the same, like verruca analogy. But what I noticed with her is a few days later, she got all upset one day, and I was like, why are you so upset? And she was like, Daddy's learning how you're gonna die, Daddy's learning how you're gonna die. I was like, what are you talking about? And she ran off, and she came back with my husband, who had taken some time off work to kind of be around to take me to scans and stuff. He'd actually started doing loads of DIY around the house. If there was one good thing about getting cancer, it's like shit got done in my house. So like there were pictures going up, there were walls being painted, and anyway, my daughter April came to me saying, you're gonna die, and she gave me this book that my husband had been carrying around, and it was called The Complete Guide to DIY, but of course she read it as The Complete Guide to Die. It's like, no, I'm really not going to die. I'm going through some harsh treatments, but mummy's caught it early and it's all going to be fine. And then when I told my eldest, my 9-year-old, again, the verruca analogy, and he said, is it cancer? And I was like, I had no idea that a 9-year-old knew what cancer was. And I said, yeah, it is. And what do you know about cancer? And he said, I know that people die from it. And I guess he picked it up like from TV programmes or adverts, or I don't know. And he would get very upset. He would, when he had to go to school in the morning and I was still in bed, he would be, you'll be here when I get home, won't you, mummy? And I realised that actually the way to help him through this was, number one, don't lounge around in bed all day. So it was good in a way because it made me get up. Even when I was feeling dog tired and sick, I would get up, put a bit of makeup on, take them to school. I'd sleep during the day when I got back from dropping them off. But that was, I think, quite reassuring for him and for my middle daughter. But also the other thing is, if I had any appointments or letters come through the post, I stopped hiding anything. Cancer very much became part of our family life because we were all going through it. I quickly learned that my diagnosis wasn't just for me, it was all of us. It did get a little bit crazy in the end though, because there was one day when I was going through my youngest, her book bag, and I found my prosthetic boob in there, decorated with a pipe clean around it. So why is this in your school bag? And she was like, oh, I took it for show and tell. Thanks. She also took my toothbrush, but that's a different story. So it really did become part of their normal. But they kind of went through the mill quite a lot with it. I remember one day my son, he had Googled what will happen the week before my mum dies of breast cancer. I'd found it on the sort of Google history search. So we spoke about it, and we spoke about it a lot. And there are books out there that you can buy. Mummy's Got a Lump, or there's some cartoon and more sort of comic-y ones that you can get hold of. But of course, this isn't just about breast cancer. This is about all cancers. And depending on your child's age really depends on how much understanding they have. And also depending on their personality, depends how much support they need. But my top tips would be, you know, if they are of school age, go and get a meeting with their teacher, explain to the teacher what's going on, because they spend an awful lot of time with your kids and they can really keep an eye out for them. Keep communicating with them. Don't have hush-hush telephone conversations with your consultant. You know, just be open and honest. That's my opinion. I bought them the books. Well, actually, you don't buy them. You can get them through your breast care nurse or your oncology department. So do ask for them, and I will put a list on here of helpful books that you can get. I found that the sort of trauma of it hit almost more after my diagnosis, after I'd been through all the treatment and everything, and as they got older, I think they kind of realised, wow, Mummy's just been through that. And so there's still a little bit affected now, but again, we just keep communicating. Anyway, I really hope that this is helpful. I know that every child is different and every way that you deal with it is different, but I just wanted you to know that you're not alone, and I do understand that, you know, a cancer diagnosis isn't just for you, it's for your whole family as well. And I think that, in my opinion, kind of works if you treat it that way as well, and that they are included and you don't hide it, because they love you and they want to support you and be behind you. The other thing I say is take all the help you can get. Like when friends said to me, oh, do you want me to pick the kids up from school? I was like, oh, yeah. Not every day, but, you know, every now and again, it just really, really helped. But do get in touch, you know, if there's questions or you want to share your story, because I'm really, really keen to hear how other people got through this, because it's not easy. But thanks for listening.